Hi guys, this is Brandon with the TNOutdoorForum.com, Red State No Weight, coming to you today to show you some knots per the request of Jeff Johnson, the founder of the Tennessee Outdoor Forum. We wanted to make a video and get it out to you guys and show you some of the knots that we use for bushcraft, for camping. That would be good in a survival situation or even just everyday situations. The first one I want to show you guys is what I call a trucker's knot. Now on a trucker's knot, this is used to tie loads down on top of a truck. So what you're going to do is you have to have a certain amount of line left over down on the end. We're going to take the line, pull a loop, and just simply tie an overhand knot in the loop. As such. Once we have the overhand knot tied in the loop, guys, then we can proceed to use this as a trucker's knot. Now what you're going to have is one end of your line, this end would be anchored to a position over here somewhere. And on this end, what you're going to have is this end is actually going to run through wherever you're going to tie off to over here and pull up back through this knot. Then what we're going to do is actually pull it around, and that way you can pull this line and you can tension this other rope over here that you have as on my right here. So once you've got that knot tied off and you're ready to finish it off and close the knot out, you're going to tie a hitch in the knot. So we're going to go and make a loop like this. Then we're going to go under and around, under and around 2 times. Once we have 2 little loops in place, we're going to pull out here and go around and back through. Now what that's going to do, guys, is it's going to make a bite on our hitch, which is going to prevent, if I would go around it the right way, you always want to go over the top and around and through. And that will cause you to have a bite on your rope. So what that's going to do is prevent that knot from sliding back out on you. Excellent knot to use if you're moving furniture. Great knot to use if you just need to get general tension against the rest of your line. So let's untie that and let's go on to the next knot that we're going to show you. Now the next knot kind of plays off of this one, and it's necessary to tie the trucker's hitch, and I want to show you, but there's 2 versions of it. I'm going to show you both versions. One version that we're going to show is called 2.5 hitches. The other version is called a taut line hitch, and I'm going to show you the difference in the 2. Taut line hitch is the simplest version of a self-tensioning knot that has a bite to it that will actually hold tension and that you can adjust by hand. It's so simple that it's this. I mean, you take the rope, you make your loop in the rope that you have, you pull out your tail, you're going to take the tail of the rope down, it's going to loop around and under 1 time, then you're going to come back out, come over, around, and it's going to come back through the hole. You're going to pull it down. That, my friends, is a taut line hitch. You have it tied around 1 loop. The knot will also do this. But if you pull against the knot bites, which that was my fault. The knot will actually bite on itself, and it will cause it to tension up as such. So in tying that knot, if you can tie that knot, 2.5 hitches is a breeze. So you do it the same way. You start out with your loop, and 2.5 hitches is just exactly like we did on the trucker's hitch, guys. You go under once, and you go under twice. Once you've gone around your 2 times, you're going to come out on the outside, over, around, feed it back through. And what that does, once again, guys, is that makes the bite in your line, which keeps it from slipping. So those are 2 knots that you would use a lot in camping. You would use them a lot in storing your gear and things of that nature and stowing it. The next knot that I want to show you is a knot that I like to use. Now, if you have a metal, what I call a nail tent stake, you can use a nail tent stake as a toggle to do this with. I don't have a tent stake just readily available. Excuse me, guys. I don't have a tent stake just readily available to show this to you with, so I brought out a piece of wood, and I'm going to show you using this log because I thought that it might be easier for me to show you using the stick how this works. Now what this is used for, guys, I know that we live in East Tennessee, and if you've ever been to East Tennessee is bear country. When we go out in the woods, we always have to be concerned, we have to be worried about black bears. One of the main things that a black bear will do in the woods is they like to get into your food. So if you've ever done a double tree setup where you run a line up and you pull up with double trees and you pull the line tension between two limbs, sometimes it makes it difficult to be able to get that line down and get the bag down quickly. And I kind of came up with this on my own just through trial and error in years in the woods, and I want to show this to you because it's something that I use and I find it really helpful. What I'll do, similar to the trucker's hitch, this knot is used for tensioning, but what this is I use this as a quick release. So the way I start it is I'll start with what they call a lark's head knot, which a lark's head is just simply where you take the rope and you're going to make a loop, you're going to fold it around, and you're basically just going to reach through the loop and grab the ropes in your hand. Where you grab them in your hand like that, you're reaching through the loop. Then what you're going to do is pull the loop back around your ropes to where you make a loop like that. So once you have that loop, what I do is I take my stick or my toggle and insert in the loop. And then you get this nice little lark's head knot on the rope. So where that comes in handy, guys, is when you're running your bank line from tree and you tie it off on this tree, you run it across the tree, you put your packs on it, or your food bags from your packs on it, then you throw it over the other limb and you let the end of your rope drop down, and you've got to tie this off. Well, what I like this is that with this one little knot, we can simply make it to where this is a quick release knot, where it'll let you get your food down fast. If you're ever in a situation, especially a bug out situation, you had to run and grab your food and go, guys, this would be the way to go. Let me show you why. When you have this knot and it's up in the tree, you tie this lark's head, what you're going to do is you're going to have this toggle or this stick that's going to be in the middle of that line. Now what's going to happen when you do that is this is going to be used to pull your tension. So when you come back around to pull your tension on your line and pull against it, you're just simply going to take this, wrap it back around the toggle and around your limb or your tree, and you're just simply going to pull against your own toggle. Now what's awesome about that is when you want to let that out, to let that food down to where it's over or it's under the 6 foot limit to where you can just reach up and grab it with your hands, this is all you have to do, guys. So you have it like this right here and you want to let it down, you want to do it quick, you've got your tension on there. Well, all you have to do, guys, is pull out the toggle and it lets the whole knot go and you have no knot left. So that, like I said, it's a quick fix that you can use. A tent stake works really well. Any kind of smooth, slick surface stick, anything like that will work well for that. And I think it's something that you might find useful at some point in time. That's why I want to show you that one. Another knot that I want to talk about is a knot that is used a lot of times to shorten the length of rope that we have. And they call this knot a sheep shank. Sheep shank knot starts by taking a section of rope that you don't necessarily need, but that you don't want to cut. You take it and you make a double loop like this, as long as you need. You loop it over, then you loop it back to where you have 2 loops, kind of in an elongated S type shape. On the first end, what we're going to do is we're going to hold it like that. We're going to wrap this rope around, come over, and back through. At that point, when we're done, what I do is I pull the loop on this end and I pull the rope back through the loop. That way it cinches down. So in essence, we do the same thing on the other end. We're going to pull the rope out, down, around. I have a little bit longer end on this side. We go down, around, over, through the loop. Tie the overhand knot off on the rope. hold it in place, straighten it out a little bit if needs be, and then through the loop. Boom, there you go, guys. It bites down, it saves your line, and you still only have one piece of cordage that you're dealing with, and you don't have to cut your cordage and waste cordage. That's a way that you can use to help save your cordage. On the subject of saving cordage, I know you guys have seen in several of my videos the knives that I have that have the neck lanyards that I've made from the 550 cord, just like the one I'm wearing right now. I've got on the Becker Escobar right now that I'm wearing. You've seen these paracord lanyards. I'm going to show you how to tie that knot as well. That is a very useful knot that is called a sailor's knot. That sailor's knot is one that is used a lot of time in nautical on bolts or boats, that they'll take them out, and on these boats they'll tie these knots in for the purpose of sailors being able to save rope for that same reason without having to cut the rope. And it's real easy to do. All you do is take your cord and you make just a simple loop. Well, once you've made your loop, you're going to turn your loop over, and you're simply going to take the cord on this side and fold the cord as such and push it through the loop. Just like that. And then you just keep following and repeating that process, guys. Honestly, that's all there is to it. You're going to follow and repeat the process over and over and over until you have a lanyard, a chained rope, so on and so forth. Now, when you are done doing this in the line, what you're going to do, say this is the end of our chain that we're going to make, you simply take the other end of the rope, insert it through the final loop in your chain, pull it closed. Boom. You can pull tension against that, you can do whatever you have to do against that, and it's going to bite and it's going to hold in place. Now, to let it go, this is what's cool about this knot, is that if you need to deploy this cordage at any point in time and use it, here's all you have to do. You just simply back the last end that you put in out, take the rope, both hands, the knot pulls all the way out. So that's a knot that I recommend learning how to use. The final knot that I wanted to show to you, and you'll see my son's decided to come out here and join me. Red son, you going to come over and help in this video? All right, front and center. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you how to tie a bowline hitch. Now, a bowline hitch is a knot that is used mainly as a rescue knot, and that's because the knot bites, and the knot makes it to where it's not going to slip out of place and position. So if I'm in a position where I've fallen down, I've broken my leg, I'm at the bottom of a ravine or a gully, and they need to pull me up, and they drop me this line, I need to be able to take this line and tie a knot around myself that they can use to tow me back up. So here's how this is going to work. The rope is going to go around you, which it has to have a lot of rope to go around me, guys. You can tell that. So we're going to take the rope. It's got to go around you. And the easiest way that I can teach this knot and teach you to remember it is by an adage that was taught to me by a scoutmaster of mine, and I'll give him a shout out. He's passed away several years ago, but I learned a lot from him, and I just really relish learning that. Mr. J.C. Blankenship. Back when I started Boy Scouts, J.C. taught me to tie this knot in this manner. And he said, this is your rabbit, this is the rabbit's hole, and this is the tree that's above the rabbit's hole. Okay? So guys, it's this simple. The rabbit goes out the hole, around the tree, and back in the hole. There you have it, guys. You have a bowline knot. Now, whoever is at the top can use this knot to pull, and I can use my hands to hold, and they can help to pull me up or lift me up to safety. This knot is not going to slip. There's no slippage to it. Very handy knot. I recommend that everybody know how to tie a bowline knot. It's going to be very useful if you ever come in the need in a first aid situation where you need that type of a knot. Guys, as always, I thank you for tuning in, joining us today on the Red State No 8. Tennessee Outdoor Forum channel. If you have any questions, please leave your comments below. Make sure you click like on the video and you subscribe. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Hit the red button again.